Well, I wanted to bring in Democratic Congresswoman from Texas, Julie Johnson. She's joining us now. She's the vice-ranking member of the House Homeland Security Committee and a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. First off the bat, I wanted to know if you knew that this was going to take place. Did you get any sense from the administration that this was coming?
Absolutely not. They did not brief Congress ahead of time like they should have when they invade another country. In fact, it was just the opposite. Secretary Rubio and Hezbollah came up to Congress and just in the few weeks prior to this and repeatedly denounced that there would not be any kind of a regime change operation in Venezuela. So they absolutely did not give Congress the heads up on this.
And I wanted to ask, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was saying this morning when he was asked if the U.S. is at war with Venezuela, he said this is not a war. He said we are at war against drug trafficking organizations. Is the U.S. at war with Venezuela?
Well, it's hard to know right now, right? But, when you send military personnel of the United States into the sovereign nation of another country and extradite their ruler and their leader, that certainly is an act of aggression in my book. If somebody came in and did that in our country, I know the United States would perceive that as an act of war. Now, having said that, Maduro is a terrible person. He's a dictator. He's a ruthless drug lord. He was there in an illegitimate way. But nonetheless, this is not the way that they should have gone about this, especially without congressional notification.
What's Congress's next step here?
Well, I think we're going to take up the War Powers Resolution, as your reporter alluded to in the previous segment. We certainly will hopefully address that next week and reassert the congressional oversight over these matters and making sure that we do not have a protracted ongoing military effort in Venezuela. But again, the narrative is, where do we go from here? This country is in disarray. President Trump said the United States will be ruling this country. What does that mean? And what are the parameters about that? What's the term? And what are we going to be doing to ensure that the Venezuelan people have the ability to exercise self-determination and enact their own democratically elected leader?
And what about the briefing that's set to happen from the administration this week as well? What do you expect to hear?
Well, hopefully we'll hear something. A lot of these briefings have been very, sparse with actually true details for the members of Congress, what we could have seen on the news ourselves. But we'll see. Obviously we all have a lot of questions about what's happening, what's the plan for Maduro, what's the plan for Venezuela, what's the U.S. going to do in terms of this ongoing control that Trump has alluded to. So there's definitely a lot of questions that need to be answered this next week.
We appreciate your time. Democratic Representative from Texas, Julie Johnson, thank you.
Absolutely.